The politics of beauty. Let's remember Pygmalion, who asked the stone Galatea to drool over his love like a jewel and take him as a fool. In her court he did jest, decked in a hat that rang, covered in blushing colours. Should we become your gods, fashioned to freeze, unchallenged complexions of silent contemplation, crafted to be grateful? Imagine we are like Sophia or Phoebus, scared of her gilded cage. Beauties made colder than stone, clasped at youth and labelled by Drury, the model for the age of innocence, or renamed bust of a woman, birth name lost to a century. Or be Dalou's peasant woman nursing, not her baby, but a baby, set to become subjects in the politics of beauty. We may cackle at a creator's anticipation, and certainly marvel at their intoxication, but be envious of our nonchalant repose, and wonder to what end we became good enough to become immortal. The winged victory of Samothrace. You flew across their fight, your vanquished sea witness to their might, where the wind blew your garments free. They must cry below thee, for you, headless beauty and truth, when they wage war with destiny, they gave forth love and youth. Once a vow on an ancient galley's prow, now like a parrot perched in a tree, this staircase is now your sanctuary, and they presume you must be free. Dear nightingale, if your sweet throat could pour out the pain of a lover's note, here, sing the songs that make men dote on immortality. Amid the shouting and the drums, let it be learned that beauty comes.
Bust has lost something. Bust without a head, bust without a name, bust without a body, bust without a story. Bust, what do you have?
Fourth plinth. Suspended between pavement and evening, as the sun descends, a phantom steed, an equestrian corpse outlined by a silver sheen, shakes her mane and trots down Charing Cross Road. A lady with her birds, even through cold evenings, rests beneath the ghost's plinth, one hand lay splayed on weathered stone. A newspaper, like tumbleweed, rolls the past down the street. Sometimes lovers stir at the plinth's feet, while a lone beer bottle takes the mount's lofty seat. Spots of gum mark time, pressed into stone. Is it a sorrowful day when a plinth stands bare, or is it humanity? This monument to impermanence, proud of its conquest of nothing.
The Pedestal Pygmalion Built. Pygmalion is a classic myth. A sculptor falls in love with his creation, Galatea, who is then brought to life. This story is a reimagining.
We needed to be apart, for me to give you my heart.
Galatea never does quite like Pygmalion. His relation to her is too godlike to be altogether agreeable. And when Eliza emancipates herself, when Galatea comes to life, she must not relapse. She must retain her pride and triumph to the end.
Pygmalion observed his land and felt that his life could slip away, lonesome and unremarkably unachievable. He would fall amongst these people, and no one except himself would care. Pygmalion was a man who judged, and you must understand that a man who judges can turn fiercely hot summers into a cold, suffocating winter. Fueled by a judgment of his land, as dejected and morally tired, his intention was simple: to create something fantastically beautiful, a lady, a companion, pure and simple in a way that humans are not. Pygmalion was privileged. Unlike the men, women and children who made the street their work and home, he could turn to his chisel and ivory alabaster, the sculptor, the profession to soothe one's uncertainties. People often say that he reflected his statues. It was in his eyes, deceptively deep, still pools of brown. He was cold, a fearful man who had frozen his aspirations, for there was one uncertainty he could never dispel, the art master's question, a king's legacy, his chef d'oeuvre. Each time dust fell like snow, and out of the niveus haze characters would come forth. He would wait to see if they could be it, something solid enough to hold up to the title of masterpiece. He hadn't seen it yet. He didn't really know what it would be, but when she blossomed, he knew. Here she was revealed, the diligent birth from man, the semblance of a woman, a voiceless child, his grace of life, modest with all motion restrained. Pygmalion, with his consummation skill, fell in love, and named her Galatea. He kissed her, but could not see her stony complexion, ivory lips, cold, made warm under his breath. They made each other warm. He would bring her presents, smooth round pebbles, shells, birds, and 1,000 fragrances in flower form. Galatea, draped in rich clothing and gems, he wished she could drool over his love like a jewel and take him as a fool. In her court he did jest, decked in a hat that rang, covered in blushing colours. On the day of Venus's festival he sat at her altar. With an offering he silently prayed. If it is true, O gods, that you give all things, I pray to have as my wife. He could not and dared not utter his stilled wife's name. His mind's voice asked for his ivory statue wife to be born. Instead, he said, grant me one like my ivory wife. Golden Venus heard, for she was present at her festivities, and she knew clearly what the prayer had meant. What is a man with vanity but a man seeking love, or to become a god? Venus cried for what she was about to do, a necessary teaching to the masters and their students. Liberties to the crickets to play the harpsichord, fly from the flower garden. Vino, shoot your silky arrow, for Cupid's arrows fly not always true. And that night confusion grew, for she is the goddess who knew that one could pursue, one and his statue becoming two. She gave a sign that she had heard. 3 times her temple flame leapt, and to those that followed love's plight might have thought her leaping flame meant her divinity favoured his claim. When Pygmalion returned home, he went straight to his ivory wife. His wish had betrayed his alabaster solid dream. In his grovelling, he knew he was being watched. The air had turned bitter, impregnated with presence. When he looked up at Galatea, she had softened. Snow had melted. As honey wax on Mount Hymettus mollifies in the hands of the worker under the heat of the sun. Galatea had shifted from metaphor to fact. Giving trial to his unuttered hope, he touched her hand. It must be flesh. His mouth went dry, rancid regret trickling down his throat, fear stiffening his spine. His home had become uncomfortably different. His actions were unassured. Did he want this? There was blood pulsating beneath her skin, and he knew that he had to thank Venus whether he wanted it or not. It was simply what was done. Pygmalion gave Galatea a kiss. Now real, true to life, the maiden felt the kisses given to her. But Pygmalion knew a kiss could not compare to your feet touching the earth, your head tilted into the wind, uplifted to the sky. What was darkness compared to light? Like the notes of nectar, apples, pears, peaches and plums, warm buttered bread, cherry-stained lips and fingers, from the strawberries or blackberries picked straight from the bush, ripe lemon, mint and lime, the yellow buttercup glow, orange herbs, olive gloss and light tangs, lavender, apricot and blush pink, sunny as a tulip bed, clear as the blossoming in spring, mauve, crushed red, lush velvet, stars on a diamond, night's icons, jewelled confetti, nature's holy decoration battle, with the light reigning supreme, red like cinnamon and nutmeg, like fire and ruby wine, green composed across our land, blue poised across our sky. Every day he must grant her a colour, for if not, greedy to see the shades of the world, she would fly from his constructed perch. So Pygmalion laid a box of crayons at her feet, one colour at a time. When Galatea saw the light and sky above, her rapt lover gazing at her, learned of the world seen through her gaze. In front of Pygmalion, Galatea rested her head, and his ears rang with her stillness. Galatea had abandoned consciousness to the red cloth that had entangled with her body. The concentration so naturally carved on her face had shifted. She had relaxed, her eyelids closed, eyebrows raised and lips parted. Soft swirls of breath fluttered towards the window. She became light. An ethereal ease glazed her body, golden hair sprawled out, and pale skin made rosy by her meditation. Each time Galatea slept, he worried that he had lost her, returned to her solid stone cast. He felt too conscious of his being, evaporating into a formless echo. In his darkness, he had presumed she must have been in love. Now he understands that it was childish to ask a goddess to make Galatea love him back, for she was still learning about this world, and it was selfish to keep her in his trap. Pygmalion was tired too. He had knowingly become her god, her teacher, her friend, and to be all those at once without one role infecting the other was unbearable. Their relationship was confused and sour. Love had turned into something else. He knew that she must go.
Pomona. A knot in the bark was her bed. Blossom adorns her wild woven dress, a sweet-scented abode her apple-tree orchard, all access denied to lawless sylvans. Vertumnus, metamorphosis king, shifting from the old to the new, slave to season's chain. Difference drips like thick spice syrup, spilt on toast, sipped with tea. What is the cost of revolution? O statue queen, ancient apple queen, as once you were, so now you remain. You'll love the shapeshifter, for he bears what you desire. They look wonderful, but not quite human, a kinship to the scarecrow. Who have you met without a head? Who looks for a leaf in a forest? Who looks for the needle in the haystack? Who will look for them in a statue garden? They are satisfied and brave, to rest at peace in the museum's cave. Archaic Torso of Apollo by Rilke. We cannot know his legendary head with eyes like ripening fruit, and yet his torso is still suffused with brilliance from inside, like a lamp in which his gaze, now turned to low, gleams in all its power. Otherwise, the curved breast could not dazzle you so, nor could a smile run through the placid hips and thighs to that dark centre where procreation flared. Otherwise, this stone would seem defaced beneath the translucent cascade of the shoulders, and would not glisten like a wild beast's fur, would not, from all the borders of itself, burst like a star, for here there is no place that does not see you. You must change your life. The Crouching Venus, not a bed in sight. Sisyphus and Coon, declare that in patriarchal culture, a woman's place is in bed. Sleeping Beauty is lifted up by a man because women don't wake up by themselves. Man had to intervene. Venus states, "They drape me across a bed and position me as a fantasy of the promiscuous beauty. It must shock them when they look into my eyes and discover that I am more than just flesh. Perhaps this is why they cast me in stone. Here I am just a beauty."
Wear me something old, like the ring of a past love. Wear me something new, like the hand of your current love. Wear me something borrowed, like the shadow of my love, and I will wear something blue.
Is it written that we must kiss hollow men? I put this question to T.S. Eliot. The wind batters and the sun beats, the trees die and the flowers burst. She is frozen and grateful, because people are never too busy for sorrow, and nature is never too managed to resent. But I am always too still to contend. Say your love is for the rose, she blossoms in your sight. To part with her for even one night would surely be love's blight. Like the rose, your days are in the grass, a bud in the field. Come, flourish with us, and remember, we are only dust, soon blown by the wind that passes over us. No full stops in the museum. Humanity, a prolonged hyphen in time's long story. Topple our stones into the fire pits, step forth into our new homes. Trust that man extends a helping hand to nature's deep lust for reclamation by turning themselves into dust.